EA. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League Wildcard match. If you've just joined us, you've missed the first map already. It was Virtus.Pro taking down Godsent 16-11 on Cobblestone. And Cash is the next map.
Yeah, this was Godsent's choice. We've got a really intriguing affair on our hands. And just to kind of highlight the weight of the situation, this next map, these next 30 or more rounds, or less, you never know, will be played out. And the winner of which, of course, this of the series will be securing a spot in the ESL Pro League. The loser, I mean, should Godsent concede this next map of Counter-Strike, the boys, Crims, Flusher, Pronex, Schneider, these will not be present within the Pro League. And it's a big, big, big task on their hands now to overcome what was a very scary-looking VP on Cobblestone. These guys look great. I was a little apprehensive. It did seem like Godsent were unable to make anything happen at the start of their initial defensive side on Cobblestone, and they did manage to make things a little more competitive. But still, 16-11 is a convincing win for Virtus.Pro, and it did look good. They look scary. I love what Neo and Pasha are bringing at this point in time. Top of the scoreboard by a very considerable margin. On the other side of things, Pronex top fragging. I remember many analyst desks where I sit there and they go, if Pronex is top fragging, you're doing something wrong.
Yes, and it was said as well, and it's because of his role on Fnatic as well. He himself said, this is not my job at the moment, but, you know, it's already been on Reddit. You know, we almost see this different kind of attitude or approach from Pronex now. The aggression we saw through Drop Room was something that we have not seen from him
Don't say ever.
For a long time.
Long time. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's cover our backsides.
Because suddenly before,
you'll get tweets of just YouTube links of like, these are the moments when Pronex did this before.
So it's like Slasher or someone's going to hit me. I'm like, well, you know, back in CPL. Like, either way.
Exactly.
Yeah, so still, this aggression from him as well is uncharacteristic, given what we've known of him in the past, to say the very least. But look, you win the pistol round in the second half. It's now 8-8, and then you lose the next 3 or 4 rounds. You lose them to pistols. You lose 2 rounds. To,
how do I make myself go?
Is there one on this side? Yeah.
I don't know how to go tall. I'm just going to sit up straight. There you go.
Front right. Yeah,
front
sorry.
Right. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I do this.
I just want to see you do the dance for a little bit.
Feel like, is it one of these things? There's too many levers. It's just like a... That's not it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to be small. Just to accept that I'm a little bit.
So ask our friends at Maxonomic, can they send Alex a manual? That'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
Really
but the point I was trying to make before I fiddled around with my chair was that there is another factor that we haven't considered yet, Mitch. We haven't considered the fact that there has been a little bit of a CSGO holiday. All of the players have been taking their breaks. I've been very, very envious as I've been working like a busy bee, but I've seen all these boys, they've been sending beach shots. I've been seeing the Bahamas. I've seen Carrigan looking moody.
Zeus got some great shots from the beach the other day.
He did.
As well.
And they've all been having their holidays, and these guys are included in Nano VP, have definitely been putting their feet up. We haven't seen them since E-League, where they did, of course, take that much well-deserved break by the pool. That should be something we consider, admittedly, when you know, it's not an excuse by any stretch of the imagination, but the likes of Flusher having 8-9 frags towards the end of that game, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, it takes a map to get it back into the swing of things.
And it is Cash for our second map here as well. So you know as well, obviously fan vote, yes, they don't add up to 100. That's because they're not supposed to. Obviously, these were the votes, the 2 top votes that got these 2 teams in the match in the first place. It was a fan vote for our 2 teams playing here in this wildcard. Cash was the pick of Godsent here as well. So Virtus.Pro definitely was something to show here, as do Godsent now, this new look lineup.
Oh my God, I've just realized something, Mitch.
What's that?
You're saying Cash like an English person.
I'm trying really hard.
This is amazing.
Really hard.
Anybody that's ever listened to Renegades or Sponge in particular talk, they'll be aware that every Aussie calls it Cash.
Yeah, Cash. I'm pretty sure that Sponge will be very disappointed in me now.
We've broken him. Europe, we've broken him.
I think he said to me in Katowice, you don't even sound Australian anymore. That hurt, but that's the way it is. That's the brutal industry we live in, Alex. Conform or die.
You don't even sound Australian anymore. That's a kick in the teeth.
Yeah, how about that one?
I've had people say I don't sound English, and I just look at them with a... I just look at them and I go, really? What do I sound like? I guess I'm just speaking generic English, uniform English at this point.
Spending so much time around British people like yourself, as everyone at the office as well, spending so much time around Pansy as well, not only downgrades my way of speaking in itself, but of course...
sound like you're from London.
Oh, God. All right, chillax, fam. All right, fam, we got this, fam.
Brother.
All right, no worries, mate.
Anyway, moving swiftly away from our awful dialects and into the Counter-Strike. If you have just joined us, guys, I do want to continue to reiterate the importance and the weight that this game of Counter-Strike does hold over these 2 teams. Only one will secure a spot in the ESL Pro League, $750,000.
The stakes are high, man.
So high, and we start with a knife round. It is time to see if Virtus.Pro can end it into, or if Godsent will send us into train. See if they can stay on track.
Oh, 3 karambits per team, so I can't really see an advantage here in the early stages, Alex. We just have to see how it comes out here as well. Have you seen Sponge's analysis? It's how many hats are on a team. So
how many hats? Dude, I think facial hair is a real thing as well.
Yeah.
How many beards on a team? Like, I think you can overbeard. If you overbeard, it's a mistake.
Too many beards.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got to get the hat to beard.
Renegades are too many beards at one point.
Hat to beard ratio, you got to get it right.
Yeah.
The only person you have a guaranteed no beard on is JKS. I don't think that.
That's why Havoc got dropped though as well.
Too many beards.
There's too many beards going on, man. Seriously. I think it was because Yam brought his beard in. That was like, okay, we're done here, boys.
You overbearded.
As it is, it's JW now as well. We did actually see Pronax get a little bit of a hero moment in the first knife round. I mean, you know, while we're getting excited about knife rounds.
JW was thinking about running away. He turns around and the VP have just taken their hands off the keyboards like, no, you come to us. You come to us.
We're not playing this game, bro.
We are not going to chase you. You can go ahead and show off your bunny hole. Look at that. They're just literally staring him like, stop.
JW probably just sipping from an undisclosed energy drink now as well. New brand to be announced.
That's true, yeah. And now he's going to get... Look at that. They pull the trigger and will work as a team. VP executing even on the knife round. Nice work from them, and they will have the choice of side coming into cash. Prior to this, Godsent got given the decision and actually chose to start on defense on Cobble. We saw how that worked out for them in the grand scheme of things. Now, it's VP who will have their choice of side as we do dive into our second map here. Wow, it's one map. It's one map, and I mean, this is Godsent's choice. We know just how good. Actually, you know what? How good Godsent, the old roster, was on this. Yes. Under Pronax's rule, we know how good old Fnatic were on Cash, and we even get a replay of
this is a thing. Yeah,
that's a thing now.
Yeah, I mean, and bear in mind, we talk about how much is on the line. The lion's share of 750K. I think he's on the line here as well, getting obviously into the league itself here. What a gambit, right? If you're these 3 players coming across from Fnatic, what a gambit to throw your hat in the ring at the very last moment. Literally, the last opportunity you could have gotten yourself into the Pro League under a new name, and you do it now against Virtus.Pro as well, who is not the team that you want to try and sneak past in a match like this. All
right, folks, strap yourselves in, because map 2 has underway, and first blood has been drawn. Pasha beheads Flusher as his his head does roll across the floor, and now look at JW, actually. He's progressing alongside Schneider, both from drop, and are going to be going for this fast mid control. It's going to be down to Taz to try and take another. Schneider's having none of it, though. Just find his way with the Glock, and currently, though, 4-3. Numbers favoring the Godsent boys, and they're starting to commit towards B. I like this. Spreading, making a whole lot of noise in middle, but the bomb is safely secured and we planted thanks to Pronax.
VP had to trade over on the B side, and there was spread so thin on that part of the map, actually, they give control over, but Snack's going to take some for himself in mid. Crim's trying to go for it, but Snacks trades out yet again. Now this puts it 2v2.
Oh my God.
Good work into off the side there. Pronax is going to fall. Now Snyder's got no choice but to come forward. It's stand and deliver, and it's going to be Snyder versus Snacks. Bomb, he's down. He's all that's working in Snyder's favor right now. He should keep his head down.
Just one player will emerge with 3 kills in this round. It's going to be Snacks as he does take Schneider down. And man, oh man, that went either way. The hunt from Crims was questionable, unnecessary. The bomb went down. He had full control, admittedly, as he wanted to try and get the trade in mid. But given the fact that VP had 2 remaining players in middle, the chances of him actually getting away with a kill and his life were so unlikely. It did actually make life a little easier for Virtus.Pro having level numbers coming into the retake. It's great how Virtus.Pro seem to be able to put together the infrastructure for like a positive trade, even in moments like that, right? Over on the B side, you know, with Snacks obviously getting 2 kills away from that one, it's like, oh, okay, you're there, I'm here, let's do this now. They always manage to see him in a pinch to be able to come out on top here as well, and a bit of deliberation here in spawn for JW. Yeah, no, but this is, we've seen this before, actually, from Godsent. We've seen this time and time again. Second round, off the back of a loss, after finding success. Basically, if you got enough kills, we came down to 1v1, let's not forget, they choose to go double AK, and giving that into Crims and Flusher. Those are the guys that have been entrusted with this buy, and they've already made that AK known. The spray towards B did not find too much success. Now, JW having Kevlar as well is a little bit of a gift. Should any of the Flusher or Crims duo take a heavy hit, they can pass that AK off and part that over to another player. So far, though, so good for the AK-wielding players. Crims opens up on Snacks. That's a notch in the belt here for Godsent. Send him towards a round, but Taz gets him. Oh, their backs turned. Close. Just gets the one, though, and we can see JW very low inside mid. Now Pronax as well. Grabbing himself an AK from the fallen corpse of Crims. He doesn't have armor for himself, though, as well, because JW is down to 8 health. Godsent just taking so much chip damage in the middle of the map. Yeah, and Taz is having an absolute whale of a time. He's keeping them all busy, keeping them trained on his location. He knows he's done damage, and he's continuing to do so just by showing face constantly. Look at this. Look at the entirety of Godsent committing towards middle, and Taz is just teasing them. Back and forth he goes, and still hasn't gone down. Now down to 22 points of health, though. His teammates are, in the meantime, just digging their heels in and waiting for the fun to start. And Taz is just having a party all on his own. That's 1 rifle gone of the 2. Just 6 bullets left, though, in the chamber.
just not fancying reloading now as well. Does try and go for it there. Obviously 6 is enough to get the kill if you're Reticle's on point. So now we're down to a 3v3 here. The bomb still hasn't made it to B because Pasha's still holding on the site. You can see he's sitting right back up on it here.
They're so low though, Mitch. I mean, this is so unlikely now. It looks so good.
And Armor only 1.
It's just not going to happen. I mean, Pronax has got an unarmored AK. He has to do something truly insane, but just the drive-bys coming in. The SMG does connect in the end. He finds the head of Pronax. That's the AK gone, and that's the round gone as well. Godsent, they rolled the dice, and Snyder's going to be kind of furious with himself. He didn't manage to do much more with that. Just a deagle and nothing else to retain, as they'll be going into another round. And Schneider's kind of crippled himself there. $250 in the bank. He's going to be paying a bit of a heavy price for keeping hold of that deagle.
Lucky Godsent had a little bit of money to work with in that first round, getting the bomb down and getting those kills. Is pretty much what facilitated them to actually go for that kind of, well, somewhat risky buy. It still means they only have to sort of save 1 round, and if they can actually get a plant here or get something happening, they're not going to be too far out of the mix here.
If they get a plant here, I would be very, very surprised. I think VP have been so on lock at this point in time. I mean, they just seem to be drilled at this moment in time, and I do think Schneider's got an opportunity to catch one on up if he hits the shot and the tag. Oh my god, 2! That's so unfortunate. That's the beauty of the deagle sometimes, and it can be a bit of a cruel mistress, but now pressure being applied through middle, and this has been successful. Crimson's got 2 and an AK in his hands. Bialy now on quad, going to be tested next, and he has lined up 1, tries to transfer the spray, but unable to do so. And that's going to be Neo ending the round right there. Just creeps and crawls his way through middle, and Flusher and JW have fallen, put into early graves, and the dream that Crim started has been crushed. Bialy ends it all.
Schneider had a chance there as well. He had the opening, unfortunately wasn't able to finish things off there. And again, Godsent seemed to have an inclination to try and pressure Taz in there through mid. There was a possibility, of course, they worked towards B. The first round, obviously that first pistol, when they got the plant down, it was good trading that allowed them into the B site in the first place. They were looking for a little bit of extra money. And they've at least been able to buy up here as well, to a degree. Snyder, of course, we saw him languishing in poverty that last round. Much the same here. Only got to get himself a deagle yet again. Hopefully, he'll be able to get a little bit more bang for his buck this time. But still, 4 AKs on Godsent, and a smattering of utility to work with.
A smattering. That's a nice word. I feel like we're cooking something if there's a smattering. But so far, so good for VP, and they are mixing things up. This is the first time we've seen them do this. They actually send 3 to B, aggressively boost 1 up and towards vents, and then proceed to go aggressive. Well, look at that smoke. That's a CT smoke. It enables them to have full control. And now there's the paranoia. Could they be in sunroom? Flush is unwilling to commit and do any sort of lurking maneuvers over towards B. He could actually get info here on Pasha, and he will get a fantastic spray, eliminating just 1 of the triple defensive prongs formatted on B.
Yeah, and now you can see Neo's trying to recover that kill given away. He pushes aggressively. Pasha as well just gets undone by the patience we saw there from Flusher in that initial case, and now Godsent still with 5 players. Yeah, sure, 2 of them are a little bit injured, but it's only Bialy and Snacks now left to hold things down, and they still want to execute A by the looks of things here. At least by some of the flashes and smokes coming out, or will it be the fake? Will they pull away? No?
This could bite them in the backside here. I mean, should the Snacks go off with the AWP, they are going to be jumping into the 2 remaining CTs. He is going to be, I like this angle from him. He's going to be able to see the foot cross, and oh my god, he's going to be moved. Oh, just outside of the smoke. This is going to be a dead man walk in. It's going to be Snacks who falls first. JW will put the cherry on top as Bialy's head is eliminated. We are even going to see a little cheeky plant as well. Not quite enough time on the clock for that. Wow, okay, a sigh of relief for Godsent fans everywhere as they do find that round. Heading, though, into the final 2 remaining CTs was a little bit of a nerve-wracking decision for them to make. They knew at least 1 was on quad. The chances were Bialy was mid.
It's like you pick up 2 kills at B from aggressive CT players. You know Virtus.Pro are bought up. There's no reason for them to stack B with any more than 2 players in this case when they've got an even playing field, or even more than that, essentially. And yet you don't go to B. It's quite interesting there. And Virtus.Pro gave those 2 kills literally on a platter there. Great patience from Flusher. Sat well back on B halls and just took 2 kills for his team. And it looks like we're going to be seeing another one of those buys. Look at this. An AWP and the M4 are going to be basically played around with this saved, what is it? Excuse me, a CZ for Taz. And what is it? And now a Deagle and a Kevlar. And looks so far so good. Virtus.Pro are going to draw first blood. Now, is that a weapon they can retrieve? Yes, Bialy could be popping himself into Squeaky and retrieving that. And AK just lying now on the floor for now. Where's that bomb going? Currently, they are playing default. This is just Pronax holding the A push. Schneider's watching Squeak. On the other side of things, you have Flusher going to do exactly the same thing on B. So far, it is just going to be that default setup, and the CTs are ready and willing. Man, oh man. I mean, we saw them win rounds with less, Mitch, over on Cobblestone. Oh, you're not wrong there at all. It's quite an investment here as well for Virtus.Pro. I mean, is Neo even going as far as getting a decoy for himself, because you never know when you might need it there. First smoke comes out. Bialy, of course, capping out the bag now. He's going to try and take a little bit of a closer angle here, but a flash instantly to ward him away. Schneider will push him aggressively. Just a little bit of a shoulder peek at the start, but he goes in a little bit too far after that one. It's traded out. Flusher comes out the doorway, picks him up, and now Snacks from Truck, trying to see the head of Flusher peeking above the smoke. Doesn't find it. And now Prone's going to get a plant down from the safety of default.
Yeah, but this retake's going to be difficult. What on earth are you doing? JW actively peeking into Snacks. That's another one. I was about to say the AWP makes retaking difficult, but not when Snacks is hitting shots like that. Now the spray control comes in from Flusher, but he's got no health, no hope. Two players hunting him down. Surely not. He nearly gets rid of Snacks, and they're going to win the round. Virtus.Pro are going to win with what is essentially one M4 and an AWP. Fantastic work, and they do actually preserve them into the next round. A fourth then, as Godsent are going to start looking like they're knocking on death's door. We're only 5 rounds in.
Oh, and they give another AWP away to Virtus.Pro as well. Now, to be fair, the two players with 4 kills between them were the ones toting the M4 and the AWP. So Virtus.Pro used those players brought up really, really well. But now Godsent give over an AWP. Virtus.Pro have 2. Well, had to, but looks like surely Snacks has got this one on the ground. Yeah, so double CT here as well for Virtus.Pro earlier on. That's far more than they bargained for after that last round. Well played through. Now Godsent again and put themselves in the hole. This is by their own doing.
Yeah, this has gone. This has gone from bad to worse for Godsent, especially if should they concede this round, they're going to be in an economical recession. As are we. Hashtag Brexit. Now,
speak for yourself, mate. Hashtag Commonwealth.
Let's see what we've got here. As already Bialy's found early aggression has been rewarded. He pushed straight through Squeaky, and Schneider's going to be kicking himself because that's been his responsibility throughout all of this. On the default, Schneider stares at Squeaky, and the one time someone comes, he was caught with his trousers around his ankles. Oh man, oh man. Now 4-4 though. Numbers are level. However, the advantage firmly in the place of VP. So
there's a change from Taz here. Instead of sitting at that sugar cube box, he's now pushing up deep as well. In case Godsent do want to commit a few players to that position, because Virtus.Pro may expect Godsent not to have a great economical situation here as well. It's only the one round being won by this side so far. So Taz can't be too sure. He'd love to catch them off guard, though, if they want to try and, again, flood numbers in towards mid and take control and work towards highlight from there. But Snacks there as well. JW picks him up, so Taz now getting a little bit of antsy. He needs to be careful because Crim's going to go for the off-angle peek. It gets him from the boost. That's mid now, going over towards Godsent. It swings it around about Alex. It's now a 4v2.
Yeah, and Bialy's actually in a very influential position, but Flush is going to get the better of him a little quicker on the trigger, and that will be Godsent's round. They needed that. This is going to level things out quite nicely. And Pasha's just going to be clutching onto the AWP as he watches time tick away. Whether or not he's going to be hunted is a different question. I mean, Crims and Flush are in no position health-wise to be going for a hunt. 10 points of health between them. That's right, that's maths I can do. 6 + 4.
Nicely done.
Carry the 1, divide by 6, square root 10. I think that's how it works out. But still, he's going to be keeping hold of his Kevlar alongside that AWP. And I mean, if you just review that round, it was all down to basically Taz having this double peak. There was no way he was going to deal with that. He foregoes mid-control by falling, and it was just this JW and Crims duo, both peaking and showing face in middle at the same time. And actually, you know what? JW could very well get caught out by Pasha here. They could lose their AWP. Oh, my lord. The flashbang and everything.
Cheeky. Just in case. I like that as well. Oh, surely not. JW, more of an afterthought, the flash in there just to cover himself, just in case, and then he peeks it again afterwards as well. Still, it's just the AWP really here for Virtus.Pro, and they're going to build around it. Now, they built a winning round out of an M4 and an AWP.
Can they do it again?
Yeah, this time with a little bit less than the last time. They've got, I guess, a Max 7 to work with here, and the AWP.
This has been such a kooky, excuse me while I try and find my microphone. This has been such a kooky few sets of buys. It's been, I mean, we saw AK second round buy for the losing team. We've seen, M4 and an AWP working as well. Now it's going to be just a Mag 7 and an AWP. And let's see what Snacks is doing with this. He tries to make the play, and that's gone horribly wrong. It was a risk he had to take. He rolls the dice, and this time we do have Snake Eyes. Now trying to hit the shot. No. Bialy unable to connect with the initial deagle. And so it's time to see then Godsent close this out. This has to be neat. This has to be tidy. They cannot fall foul to a Mag 7 and unarmored deagles.
And they've got the utility to at least facilitate for them to have a cleaner take of these sites here. They can't let, They can't let Virtus.Pro get too close and take these off angles sort of mid-round and take it by surprise. Crims gets his second. Schneider works through mid. And this is the methodical Godsent that we're looking for here now with the buy to back it up. But Pasha takes a head off of Schneider. He's going to be able to trade up to a better gun here. Will he be able to hold on to it like he did the AWP? It's unlikely Godsent are going to allow this to happen. Flash in towards mid now. Pasha didn't actually see Flusher move across to that second door, so he will be none the wiser as to exactly where Godsent is set up. Now just trying to stay alive.
It's a good flash. He does manage to evade it, though, and will be keeping hold of this AK for now. Flusher, I probably wouldn't advise that these boys continue to peak one by one. They want to go ahead and work as a unit. Yeah, I mean, Godsent, they are finding these rounds, and I do say finding them with a bit of a pinch of salt, but you have to address the fact that this is going to be a fully reset economy for VP. They basically had nothing and then proceed to buy with it. You can even going like, they were unarmored deagles, but they were forcing themselves down to what is it? Essentially, what is it now? We have 0 for some, for 50, and that's going to be putting them into a bit of a tight spot then following this one. I think we are, for the first time in a while, going to be seeing nothing brought up around this AK. Please, please. I mean, you can see Taz maybe treat himself to a pistol of some sort.
Could buy some P250s around this or something. CZ in there.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Put a couple smaller pistols.
And we're back to normality, Mitch. There we go.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, I guess. But I mean, yeah, Virtus.Pro now as well. They just have to take a chill pill for the moment and try and bring a round in here. Godsent got everything they need here, and this is a chance for them now to extend. They haven't fallen foul of the same mistake that often plagued them in the last map, is losing to this just messy buys from Virtus.Pro, being punished by reckless strategy from the Poles. Last round, they lock it down, they keep it together, and now they got to capitalize. They got to build that economy up and give themselves a buffer going into the next half.
What's interesting is that Pasha and Neo pushed up on B for info. Pasha has immediately realized this is going the way to A, the A way. Gosh, word and life is hard. Pasha's immediately rotated towards Connector, and this is looking okay. They're going to have the weapon in the right spot at the right time. However, this should be an open and shut case. Godsent will start surging forward. The Molotovs are all in all the right places. And Bialy surely not going to be able to do too much with a P250. He'll be their first port of call. He's just been, well, his friends have been smoked off, and so it does just fall to him to try and get the early pick. I'm saying that, Snacks, come on, man,
surely
hit the shot. Pronax's tip of head was showing, unable to connect the necessary bullets, and now it does just come tumbling down. The AK has gone. Pasha has left the building, and the rest will soon follow.
Yeah, Pasha dies so cheaply there as well, and that pretty much shuts the door in this round for Virtus.Pro. Now Taz trying to make something happen, gets Flusher, but that's about it. Neo with nothing but the P250, no armor to speak of, and no real desire to try and make anything happen here.
You're just going to hang out, just maybe try and catch something on the exit and kind of review what they want to take it from here. This is going to be a nice level game for now. It's a little bit of a kind of a wonky start. Like, honestly, if you were to review this, all of these buys have been so damn odd. JW does take that P250 away from him, but it's nothing to write home about.
So I think, I'm not sure who it was, Bialy or Snacks with the USP trying to get the kill on towards Schneider there at long range. Godsent, all the utility came in, he said all the Molotovs are in the right places. They were all just for the close positions there as well. Nothing was thrown back as far as quad. Nothing was thrown over the container. So again, that's a great example of how Godsent set things up. They're like, they got pistols, they've got to peek long angles against us here. We've cleaned out all the close ones, and now the frustration of trying to get some of those kills, even with the USP, which should be easier, was exacerbated somewhat by the setup from Godsent now. So they're really putting their brain power into this one. Seems to be working. Pasha's toes getting a little bit crispy there as well, as he's forced to back away with that AWP. There's a buy around in for Virtus.Pro now as well. They've managed to amass enough money to make something of it here. Pasha with the AWP, an interesting decision. Let's see if it pays off.
He's just going to go ahead and take Flusher down to 6, unable to finish the job. But I think it was actually through the wall, causing Flusher to still have some breath in his lungs, admittedly limited. So 6 points of health. Man, oh man, you could throw anything at him at this point in time, and they'd be down to 4.
Light breeze will blow him over at this stage, but Godsent can still use a man with a gun. Doesn't matter how much health he's got. It's about the damage you can do. And Pasha has made his way very quickly and abruptly as well in towards mid here. So no extra aggression really forthcoming on B. Flusher sitting back in Sunroom, and Bialy just checking in towards A. So Virtus.Pro probably not certain here where Godsent are coming from.
Well, I mean, given that Flusher was so aggressive initially on B, you know, there was a Molotov, there was a fast flash, he was making a whole lot of noise, kicking and screaming. Virtus.Pro initially had 3 CTs on that B site. You know, if you take a look now, it's just Neo, and Schneider's starting to work his way in. The bomb's starting to maneuver its way towards A. They are going for this very much a bit of a fake, and Schneider's selling it beautifully. Virtus.Pro, are they cottoning on, though?
To a degree, it looked like Taz was lingering there back through spawn. He's still not certain, and JW, this pick over towards A could open things up. Bialy actually falls down to Crims there as well. That was over on the A side, and Snacks as well is able to trade into that one, so no real ground gained by Godsent yet. And that bomb has to go towards A now as well. Pasha, bit of an interesting little, I guess, occurrence there as well. So JW gets the better of Taz, and Snacks in a position to follow up, but he's low. The flash comes out in the smoke. He's isolated on this side up against 3. He needs help from Truck, and there it comes. Pasha was the AWP. Gets the pick up, and there's Snacks going big. Gets himself a couple. Flusher and Pronax fall down. Very fine line between a nightmare situation for Snacks and the...
Okay, so just to comprehend what on earth you just witnessed there, it was a complete indecision from Godsent. Pronax was stuck in limbo, didn't know where he was taking that bomb. Look at that, though. Taz just jumping onto the the head of JW with his ski mask on, and wow,
So
oh wow.
too.
Okay, so there is an SSG in play for the first time, I think, today. We are going to be seeing as well Pasha rocking the AWP, but look at Schneider straight out for the mid controls. It's the first time we've seen him go for something quite as audacious. There's a player on sandbags as well, and he has to hit this shot. Good control from him. Let's not forget, this is that fresh patch where those taps can be more rewarded. Pronax has got himself a double as well. Don't think it's surprising at this point in time. He's going to be perfectly executed by Godsent. This is lush. Just seeing that Molotov as well towards Checkers. They are checking everything. Saying checkers, and they do check, and it will be 3 then for Schneider at the end of that round. 3 for him and a bomb plant. That's the best T-side round we've seen from Godsent in an awful long time, taking Cobble into account as well. That just felt very, very nice, crisp work from the Swedes.
And if you just watch Schneider there in that last round, you think this is awfully aggressive, what's going on here? But off screen, it was actually Pronax covering him from vents there in mid, so they were able to lock it down really nicely. I think 3 kills between the 2 of them. They took control, and they played off the back of that one here as well. This is a much better T-side from Godsent than we saw in that first map. The T-side on Cobble was lacking in a big way now, and Flusher able to catch Taz, who was not quite quick enough off the mark.
Yeah, just trying to get that tie angle with the pistol. It's kind of the best bet at this point in time, because there's absolutely nothing of merit going on for Virtus.Pro with this buy. Just trying to do something early, getting a bit of an early angle from Taz could have maybe given him an AK, and it was an unnecessary risk to take. However, this should be a free round for Godsent. I keep saying should, because I will forever be haunted by what happened on Cobblestone, a full USP, eco, and going the way of Virtus.Pro. This one, however, is going to be much more neat and tidy. It looks like it's going to be almost a perfect round. Flush is the only one to have taken damage, and Pasha is going to be the one to try and take something away from this one. Just hanging out over towards mid and towards this fan and just begging Pronax to go ahead and try and hunt him down.
Again, does have that little close angle. Pasha has very limited information to go on about the position of the Swedes at the moment, so he's just going to have to wait things out. And Pronax almost certain that'll be lingering over towards the middle of the map here. So Godsent just peeked their noses out in front again score-wise, and they are starting to build up a little bit of an economic base. You can see Flusher, that aggressive Cavalier pushing towards mid, netted himself 4. Pasha, that's not the close angle he would have liked there. JW very astutely works that one from the long angle, goes wide, picks up a fairly comfortable kill.
Well, there was no way Pasha was saving. They knew he'd be holding some filthy angle on the exit from A, and that was exactly what they did. Again, of course, not losing a single weapon. They know he would be equipping nothing more than just a pistol. But then again, he's saying no. It's been a bit of a weird one so far. The buys have been a bit haywire. Fortunately, things do seem to have taken a bit more of a common ground now. We are going to be seeing the Mag 7 for Pasha. Likely going to be taking that one over towards, I was going to say B, but it looks like he's going to be going for a 4-man stack towards A. VP going to be making a very good call at this point in time, and Snack's going aggressive on Squeaky, rewarded because Taz was there to hold his hand, and this has gone so well. They've got the opening pick, they've got the numbers in the right place. VP have got a perfect read on this. Yeah,
and it seems that Godsent are going to hang around here despite losing that early player from the aggressive push down A long. They choose to remain here. Flusher at least is the pivot player in towards mid for them here, who look for something, maybe open up some more options for Godsent, but for the moment, this is where they're sort of setting up. Pronax finds one, and there's JW on towards A. They may think this one is open, but it's not quite. Taz is there to respond on the push in, and Snacks has a good angle for this one. He's swapped with Pasha, gets the Mag 7 in his hand, and Neo is waiting by truck.
No hope, no way Snacks does damage with this one. I mean, you just, one bullet to his toenail would do enough at this point. He's just going to be hoping to find the head before they find him. And I mean, the chances of that Molotov making its way towards site. And oh my lord, his flash is full white. He can't finish it. Unable to find the head of Schneider. Brings him down to 21. He's got another flashbang. And he can't even get it over. Snacks, what is going on? Oh dear. Things are not looking great for the Polish side in this round. This will be 7 for Godsent unless they make drastic changes right here, right now. You have to say, if you're a Polish fan right now, it's all on Neo. That's the Molotov I was talking about. It doesn't catch him. And Neo's already taken down Schneider. Snacks, how is he still alive? Finally, the air is taken from him. It will be Pronax, and now Neo. What would essentially have been a 1 versus 3. The bomb goes go down, and he's got 2 to find.
Neo was forced to give his position away as well, getting shot, but he gets 1 as well. Tries to go for the spray towards Flusher. 19 health from now. The pistol going to come in, not going to be quite enough. It will be Flusher to cut him down. Godsent having to play with extreme tenacity over these late round situations as Virtus.Pro. Not so bad, given what they had last round. Of course, they hold the 1 Mag 7 in with the rifles, but it's not enough. This is Snacks going for the shot on Schneider. Now, Neo was eventually forced to push forward and finish that kill off there as well. Had he managed to stay undetected, there could have been a little bit more opportunity for him to, take by surprise and actually get some sort of retake on that side.
I mean, yeah, I think he was trying to play the bait card and trying to draw fire for Neo, and didn't quite work out. And Taz again is punished for this early push. He's not quite gone down this time, but they know where he is, and they also have managed to do a little bit of damage initially. Now, for the first time, Godsent are starting to go for a full-on B execute with the bomb. Now, this has worked once before, but it did come through mid. This time, it's straight into B, and they're going to be walking through the unarmored CTs like butter. Easy work for them. I don't know who's walking through butter. It's not a pastime of mine. But either way.
I think it could be a national pastime for some East European countries, I think.
I mean, I saw a video once where a guy ran over a swimming pool full of custard. Oh, do you see that?
No.
If you run fast enough, you can
it's a Newtonian fluid. Yeah. The more pressure gets applied, the stronger it gets.
And that, my friends, is the engineer talking. Yeah, custard Newtonian fluid. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Just snacks left, and he's going to catch a HE. Oh, no, not quite. Doesn't make its way into Z. But he will be dispatched of nonetheless. Fantastic T-side from Godsent. We are seeing a little bit of variety. Both they have this very standard default. They have an all-in A, and they have been making their way now twice towards B, both finding success.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro, honestly, they've managed to get themselves into potentially winning positions off the back of some fairly crazy circumstances here. The aggressive pushes on B really hurt them on gun rounds. It's quite predictable that they're pushing into mid. Like Taz gets cut down quite often, trying to take control of mid on a pistol round here. Flusher pushes out, catches 3 because he knows that's what's going to happen. So Godsent are reading Virtus.Pro quite well now that they're forced into this weird situation economically. But that's Pronax taking a huge amount of damage there as well. Taz catches him early on. They're going to try and work this mid again, just the two of them like we saw earlier on. But Taz not going to allow it to happen this time, at least not as easily. Schneider forced to come forward and get the trade, will now back away and bolster the rest of his team trying to push on B.
Level numbers. We'll see for how long they can keep that way as, I mean, pressure mounting for Pasha. Yes, he has Neo to hold his hand, and yes, Snacks does have an AWP, which will be rotating very shortly. But still, through the smoke, he's actually managed to do a fantastic chunk of damage. Pasha's already taken the head off JW, and look at that, towards Headshot, takes the body blow to Flusher, and here comes the rest of VP. They dispatch of Godsent. It seems like third time is the charm as the B hit comes in, and finally, Virtus.Pro do thrive.
So you can see Godsent there as well. Okay, we know they're brought up. Let's play this default two-man mid. Schneider and Pronax it is. Problem is Pronax got cut down to 10 health so early on, so you can't peek from vents anymore. It doesn't work. Taz goes aggressive, tries to get himself one. Schneider's forced to trade, and then Godsent like, well, bugger it. I mean, we've got 4 players still. Let's try and work on B. But Virtus.Pro were well and truly ready for that. So they get the fort back in the door. A 7-8 half won't be bad for Virtus.Pro considering how nasty this has been.
Just walks straight through the smoke. It's the first time he's done that, and he's going to be completely laughed at by Flusher. Doesn't take a single point of damage and takes his head off. Okay, so now the CTs are operating at disadvantage. This is a dream scenario for the Ts, and it's made worse because this double AWP T side, it's actually not the first time you've seen it. We saw it on Cobblestone as well. Now the double AWPs come into play for Godsent, and so far, so good. And now Flusher anticipating Pasha pushing from behind. He's going to be going down as well. And I love that they hit the brakes here. They didn't get 2 picks. The Crims didn't hit that shot and say, let's go, let's go, let's go. They just wait.
And you can see his frustration now as well for Bialy, that the pace being staggered out, he's almost expecting or has some internal timing. He's saying, okay, they're going to push me now.
Right.
But you mix things up here, change the tempo, and now Virtus.Pro have got no idea what's coming.
Well, I mean, this is because so basically, if VP wanted a chance at this round, they'd want to have both of their players on the same site as they execute. They didn't have that joy because of this sudden passive. They actually got paranoid. Are they coming A? Are they coming B? And now they can slowly make their way. It will be Schneider and JW to round things out for the half. And it does look good. 9-6 then for the Swedes. Godsent are going to be rocking and rolling into their map choice. And I think had they not picked up that 9th, things could have been a little bit more up in the air. But Godsent have managed to find a solid footing and preparing for that second half.
Yeah, I feel like they've read into towards Virtus.Pro fairly well. Virtus.Pro sometimes walking into the trap themselves, but that's the way it goes. We're going to see a change of side, ladies and gentlemen. But first, we're going to be heading to a break while we just do let the teams have a bit of a breather at halftime. No break.
Nope.
They messed up and they started the game. Sweet.
I'm not complaining. I'm actually not complaining. We do get to see it straight away, but we'll be jumping into this one very, very shortly. But kind of that half in review would be Virtus.Pro actually having a great deal of success with these odd buys. Seeing that AWP and rifle work, it was a bit odd. Seeing Godsent go second round, 2 AKs. We've seen this becoming more and more popular. We've even seen the likes of SK taking chances like that. Sure. Now we're seeing, oh, my brain went to Fnatic then. I didn't say it. Now, Godsent have been doing this as well under the rule of, I was going to say Pronax, but you know what? Who knows what that leadership structure looks like now? Well,
the thing is as well, that first round, you get a bomb plant and you kill 4 of the enemy team. It gets defused, but you're going to make a lot of money from that anyway. And you can justify buying up 2 AKs and some pistols around that. So,
I mean, 4 kills and a bomb plant, it's actually, it works out really nicely, especially if you have...
They almost have the same value, to be fair, like what they managed to buy up as Virtus.Pro won the round.
I mean, yeah, exactly. You get Crims and Flusher rocking AKs, and if they start doing what Flusher and Crims are capable of, you've actually got a very, very good chance of making that second round comeback happen. And so we are ready to jump straight on into our second half of our second map here at the Wildcard match. One of these teams will secure a spot in the ESL Pro League. The other will sit back and watch as the following 9 weeks for $750,000 is battled for. Man, oh man, it's a dream. And one of these is going to have a bit of a nightmare. Will it be on Cash, or will we see the third train should the Swedes find success here on Cash?
And it will be Slower walk here towards A on this pistol for Virtus.Pro. Onus on them to open things up here as well. Get a pistol here. Well, oh, good lord, it's not going to happen. JW takes it to their noggins. I was going to say getting a pistol here would pretty much wipe away the deficit. What? Hello, there's smoke there. Jesper. No? Okay, fair enough. Bomb dropped down in towards A. Flusher now just firing down. Going to go for the knife. Well, realizes he may have bitten off a bit more than he can chew, but that's the only kill. The VP going to get that round.
That third kill is, as well. J-Dubs, okay, good to have you in the server, mate. Welcome to the scoreboard. He's rocking 12 at the top as well, alongside Flusher, and 13 for Crims. But, I mean, I just want to see that third one. Look at this. These two just...
one up.
Beautiful. The third, though, I mean, he must have... Did he catch a glimpse through the smoke? I'm not sure. We'll have a little look. No, footsteps
USP
heard the man coming. Matt's incredible, though. Double digits for Godsent, and they are going to be going for the WMP and 3 rifles. But that's so silly. What on earth? Schneider, no smoke to cover him, just misses his jump, doesn't get into checkers so gracefully, and it's going to cost him his life. And now I don't want to say the round just yet, but that's very, very important for VP. They actually have a real shot at taking this now, forcing the CTs to have to make it work with just 4. This does make, you know, that means there's a weakness somewhere. For what we know, it's on A. Pronax is on his own. JW is going to be forced to cover both middle and A, and that responsibility could have been taken away from him by Neo. Tags him down to 35.
Yeah, Neo peeks in towards mid there as well. That's pretty important damage done now. Pronax picks up the gun that was dropped there as well, but he gets cut down. Snacks comes around the corner. And now JW, a lot of work to do. He's the sole man watching A for the moment now while he waits for Flush to get to truck. And Taz can plant for A main here as well. Now Virtus.Pro can just scuttle away and maybe hide over towards that side of the map they know they have control of. It's just, this can't be happening right now. VP are in a position to take this one by the throat, but Flusher comes in. He knows he's on a rescue mission. There's a lot of work still to be done. But 1 kill will be okay to be starting with. And Crims is well off towards his side, flanks him out. Taz going to go down. And there
Where's
it is.
Crims? Couldn't find the angle, and now just 2 do remain for VP. He's not going to be able to find this early kill, and he's going to get hunted down. But look at the damage done. A perfect timing trade from Pasha. The damage initially was done by Snacks and his UMP, and Pasha 1 bullet to the backside did bring home number 7. It's happened again, Mitch. You're shaking your head. This is going to be a real, very, very tough pill to swallow. The fact that you find some success. This happened on Cobblestone. This happened on Cash, and it's happened again. Our second pistol round. The second round following that does not go their way.
Yeah, I mean, and look, with the way the Godsent have played out the last few rounds in that first half,
that's agonizing to watch.
I think they may have recovered a little bit from the first map, but yeah, not good. Started with Schneider there as well, just fluffing things up a little bit there as well. And Bialy going to punish yet again. Schneider, this is the second time he dies 10 seconds into the round, going too deep. And Crims as well gives himself up as a burn offering.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of aggression there, and it's not going to be working out for the CTs. They did go for the Kevlar and the Deagles and the various pistols, and so far, absolutely nothing to show for it. Yes, a bit of damage done, but I mean, these 2 players who were given the responsibility of B have done absolutely nothing. 2 rounds back to back. Schneider getting caught out so early on. I mean, Mitch, you're right. That's it's just mistakes you can't necessarily be making. You don't need to be rushing into checkers. You could do you can find equal success while holding a passive angle on site.
It has to be side, I guess. I mean, Flusher now as well caught on his own. He's going to fall here. I understand if you have a pistol, right, you don't want to sit in heaven, you don't want to sit anywhere for long angles. You do ideally want to try and get in towards checkers and even push close in towards B main if you can. And that's the second time he's tried to do that as well. First time Schneider had the weapon advantage. Second time he didn't, he wanted a close angle. Yeah, he could have gone towards sight. It seems that Godsent don't favour that position much at all. They don't really want to put Schneider there at all. But he's died twice now, just trying to get into a position to actually do damage.
We've seen this before. Neo, the only one keeping the SMG, he knows they're unarmored. And last time he got almost a full ace, 4 kills for him. And it's happened again on B. Bialy, great spray control, catches JW as he tried to turn tail in towards checkers, and they were having absolutely none of it. The CTs, I was going to say, could have taken a risk with a stack. Instead, they've chosen to kind of divide up 2 players on either side, and this surely is just going to go horribly wrong. The SMG from Neo is going to start reaping rewards. This could be 1,200, looking for a second kill already with the SMG. Not going to be having it, as Snacks to steal it away from him. And look at this Flusher with his new look P250 and unable to do absolutely anything. Just doing some damage, and from behind, Bialy does prevail. This will be another round going the way of Virtus.Pro, and in a completely convincing fashion. A bomb plant and all 5 standing. This doesn't get much better than that. In fact, the only way you could have got better than that would have been more kills for that MAC-10.
Yeah, so Godsent obviously don't take much money away from that round and now have to buy to a very low state here economically. So,
a big fat goose egg for J-Dubs.
Yeah. Not a lot there to work with, and he could only get himself the AWP and the armor and helmet combo. That's all he could really manage to muster together. 1 kit as well on Godsent. That may well be a pertinent fact. We'll have to see later on the round now, as well as, again, it's going to be Godsent wanting to take control of mid, or at least put 1 player there. Flush is forced back behind the smoke, and Schneider now finds himself without support. There's no one sitting at Sugar Cube here, so he needs to go for something, or at least he feels that way. But there are so many VP players, and Schneider, all on his own, yet again, dies right at the start of the round.
that's the third, if not the fourth round. Schneider's gone down first. It's quite actually hard to watch. He threw the flashbang, making his presence known. He then wide peeks, jiggle peeks, makes it clear that he's on sandbags. He's Molotoved out of position, and there's 3 VP members staring him down. Caught out of position 4 rounds back to back. It's kind of very difficult for Schneider to find any success so far here on Cash. Now, though, it's mid control. That's been the dream for the Polish side here. As you got 2 in towards checkers. It does feel like it's going to end up on B. And what was that? Neo, he's stuck with a Mac-10. He doesn't even need it. He's got a P250 on his side. He's got another with a Mac-10. Look at VP go. They are showing off here as one man does remain, and it's JW desperate to keep that AWP in play. What a perfect round from VP. In fact, you know what? I wouldn't even say that. I'd say that was just a bad round from Godsent. Schneider getting caught out. Neo actually be able to catch Flusher with a P250. Excuse me. And he's going to lose the AWP as well.
Yeah, JW cut down there completely. And the funny thing is that Godsent made the correct decision. It's like, okay, this is too important a round for us to try and wrestle for mid control after we've lost a player. But VP didn't even try and use mid. They just used snacks and the combo of Pasha. They actually just filtered in on towards checkers onto the B side and took it themselves there. So Virtus.Pro could even have set that ground up and played it a little bit slower and give themselves more margin for error, but they just went in, getting the P250 kill and then the Mac-10 kill for, was it Snacks or Neo? Whichever it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. And again, we do see the early kills going their way and hit the shot. One more onto Pasha would have done it, but they can't seem to do it, and things are just spiraling now. As this will be number 5 consecutive rounds for Virtus.Pro. Admittedly, the buys haven't been fantastic, but even with weapons, they have had very little success. Bomb will be going down on this T side from Virtus.Pro. It's just getting going. We know how good Virtus.Pro have been on Cash in the past as well. Like, make no mistake, yes, they chose Cobblestone, but this is a map, and the map they have done battle in and found success on more than most. The money is perfect as well. They're closing in on actually max money at this point in time, in stark contrast to the double AWP that's just been invested in for Godsent. Things are going to get worse should they lose this round, and a lot worse at that. Double AWP has to win now. This has to be Godsent's round.
And I mean, this kind of means for Godsent, you're not going to throw 2 players in the middle, try and fight and wrestle for control here. Definitely a fairly desperate move. I mean, not super uncommon here, but given the way Godsent's been playing so far, it's definitely a little bit out of the ordinary for what we're used to seeing them there. Pasha falls to his death, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was over boost. I'm not even sure. Goes down after taking a little bit of damage.
I was looking at the mini-map and he's gone. He is gone. Okay, well, upon review, that's the start for Godsent that they haven't had. You know what? This is actually the first time we've seen them have an early advantage, thanks to Pasha.
A couple of suicides this game have been very questionable, but it is what it is. Sometimes it can happen. Coming off the top of boost, you can take a bit of fall damage. So, Bomb now will stay at boost for the moment. Maybe Taz was even trying to recover. I'm not even sure at this point. Bialy will wait before he opens the door on towards that A side. And Crims is actually getting a bit comfortable here as well. Worked his way forward. Wants to challenge out Neo as much as he possibly can. Neo himself has seen better days. He's going to back away and just try and help with the rest of the push effort over towards A, or maybe catch someone rotating through mid.
This is going to be a big test for JW, and he passes with flying colours. Godsent are finding success here, and they're going to continue to do so as, wow, Neo didn't quite go down, but he paid a heavy price. He was in middle, and he took a big beating from Flusher, and he was the last man remaining. It almost looks like there's no one left. It's just 3 tiny points of health for Neo. Just trying to escape towards that B side, but the bomb is on the other side of the map. The CTs have it in their grasp. He's being hunted down by Crims, and the round will go the Godsent's way. I started by saying they had to win. They have done so. They even maintained both of the AWPs, and so there is just a little light for Godsent now, and what has been a very dreary set of rounds for them. They got the pistol, and that was it. This is number 2 of the second half here of our second map.
For VP, again, they stack players on towards boost there. That's how Pasha died. I'm almost certain of it. But this time, Godsent aren't pushing 2 players in the mid. There's no one sandbags. There's just the 1 player Flusher with, I believe, the AWP strapped through mid. So this change of style definitely seems to have caught Virtus.Pro off guard, because I guess Pasha got tagged very low and then fell off, and then they had no mid control to work with Virtus.Pro, and that's why they sort of fell to pieces. But here, again, you can see how many players they're committing to this one, or at least setting up around the middle of the map. 3 at least. 1 on boost, 1 in mid. Flusher as well, just trying to make sure that that's not an easy route of entry for Virtus.Pro at the moment. Again, bomb being dropped in B halls, and it's Pasha and Neo who are trying to work B in tandem. So no attention really being given to A from either team for the most part here as well. JW being the solo man watching that side, and Snacks is still just probing here, trying to find some information, or at least a lead as to where Godsent have got their players stacked up, because nothing's been found over towards the B side here. There's been so many smokes laid down by Godsent. They've stalled well for time, and VP are flying blind. So damn tight at this point in time. I mean, you've got 4 AWPs in play now,
And it will be those that do draw first blood. Bialy's lining up for that fast Molotov. I say fast, with a slight bit of a pinch of salt, but still. 3 Ts, soon to be 5, starting to orientate themselves towards B. It will be Schneider and Crims given the responsibility of holding, and Schneider is one of those AWP wielders. Here comes the execute, and now Schneider, you are about to be tested, my friend. Baits it out, but he waits for Pasha. That's solid. Orp now down. Tries to find the second, but he can't quite adjust. Fortunately, Crims can, and he will get 2 before going down. That is enough. He has fulfilled his purpose. It's JW's turn, and with Back's turn, he's going to get 1. Can he find the second with a B250? Flush is there to provide, and we will see Godsent find the round, and again, maintain those 2 very vital AWPs. That's going to be a very important round for Godsent now. It was Schneider who did draw first blood, but it was a fantastic teamwork, and Crims who really was the crux of the issue for VP.
Yeah, great hold. Godsent now as well. We saw this crazy aggression from them on the CT side in Cobble. That's changed now. The last 2 rounds since they bought the double AWP at 11-11, no, sorry, in fact 11-10, they managed to bring things back here, giving nothing over to Virtus.Pro. You could see they were throwing Molotovs in towards vents. That's how little information VP had to go on with. They could just work around the fringes and make these very small advances. And sitting back on the side, it managed to work out for Godsent here as well. This is where Virtus.Pro, I mean, on the previous map, benefited from this aggression, these fast pushes, this getting in your face, this 5 AK mobility sort of buys here. But whether it's going to work on this map the same way as Cobble remains to be seen.
We will see. As again, 4 AWPs meet Cash. And again, it is this kind of very passive mid-hold. You can see just how much effort VP put into taking mid-control, and there's very little the boys from Godsent have chosen to do about it. Snack's just walking freely. He's going to be hanging out. And still no one there to contest. Flusher is so passive. He's actually in Z. And finally will make his presence known, but he's unable to find anything. He was just trying to shut down Snack's presence on sandbags, but so far so good for VP. That's a lot of control. We know both on their CT and T sides, they like to put a lot of emphasis on controlling middle, and they have that now, Mitch.
Yeah, and this is still a situation where Godsent haven't really gotten aggressive or tried to take fights at all here. So again, this is where Virtus.Pro will be challenged when it actually comes to executing on sites. That's where it's sort of, oh my god, Pasha picks up JW there as well, and Pronax just on the other side of the smoke. Won't be able to see any of this. Will he go looking in towards A main? No, he tries to change position and walks across the face of Snacks. Not sure how that works out there. And Bialy picking up Schneider. That sight has been broken open.
Man, that looked so good as well. Such a great angle being held by that JW there, and Pasha just laughs at him. Oh, it's not going to be a perfect round for VP. Pasha will have his AWP taken away from him, but that is, I mean, that's not even a silver lining. That's not even bronze. I mean, what's under bronze? Nothing. I can't actually think of a material.
Don't know.
How do the ages work? Bronze? Wood? So, yeah, okay, that's a wood lining. We'll go with that. Thanks very much, producer. And oh, he's actually catching. There you go. It's starting to look a little bronzy. He's going to start taking VP down, but it's not like they're running out of money, and they will take the AWP away from him. Crims does fall. And Virtus.Pro, I mean, they're
It's
cushy.
just as well, right? Yeah, because Godsent were in that same position where they threw JW to try and clean up that extra last player on VP and didn't have the money. You're right, VP can afford it here, but they have played a couple rounds. I was saying, this time, Virtus.Pro actually had to do most of their fighting on the site here on the T side. Now, that's the first time on this T side that it's actually worked for VP. Most of the time, they've gotten 1 or 2 kills through mid or someone pushing aggressive into A main or B main for that matter. This time it works out for them. That shot from Pasha was sick.
So damn sick. So, CTs again thrust into the P250s and nothing else, not a single Kevlar to be seen. This should be VP's round. But the only kind of slight potential they have here is that there is double AWP. Should the AKs get taken out fast, any sort of success is going to be very difficult for Snacks and Pasha to achieve. Even against the P250s. Tight angles held, maybe, just maybe, they could make a round out of this. We know VP were capable of it on Cobble. And so again, it's going to be mid-control, and again, Crims is going to be rather passive. He's unable to find anything, looking just to slide into ahead of VP, and it's not going to be happening. Instead, it's a HE that lands in his top pocket of his new Godsent gaming shirt.
Now, most of VP moving towards Vents onto the B side. And like we've seen before, let them into a site, they will screen it off with those smokes. They'll take control. This is very much just the A, B, and C of playing the T side at this level. And they will get it done properly. Snack should have an easy picker on towards JW. We might have a bit more than he bargained for there as well. But Taz was there to help out. He still falls to Pronax, and Snack's going for a bit of a gambit here. Cleverly switches out towards the Tech 9. It's a more secured kill for him at that range. And Flusher now, well, not really where you want to be at this stage of the game. No armor, no utility.
That's an understatement. I'll give you that, yeah. One more bullet. There you go. Takes the head off of Bialy, and that's going to be, I mean, at the very least, Flusher can feel like he's achieved something in this round, but it is going to be number 13 for Virtus.Pro, and this is starting to get dangerous. Previously regarded as some of the best, if not the best team in the world, Fnatic for so long held that title. Now, under the Godsent banner, the majority of them could very well not be present within the Pro League. They have to win these next set of rounds. 4 rounds
this round
is all they need, and it's this round in particular that they have to start with.
You buy up double AWP here as well, so if you don't get much, I mean, your CT side, you can't even plant a bomb and get some extra cash and just try and go for something. You have to play this so smart, otherwise you're going to have stuff or money for the next 2, and that's where Virtus.Pro are going to kill you. They're going to put the knife in. So JW needs the first pick, gets it. That's the first box ticked here for Godsent, and now they can buy themselves a little bit of time. Already reinforcements are streaming over towards the A site. Virtus.Pro have opted not to pressure any further here after losing Snacks, and we'll try and drag things out a little bit more.
Well, that's step 1 of 5. Snacks gone. Now, JW previously had been having some problems with this AWP battle in A main. He's not going to be taking that challenge. Instead, he does position himself accordingly. But what was that? Taz takes Pronax down, a glimpse through the smoke, or just a good read through the spray. But now the numbers are level, and they are getting themselves onto upper. That's a tag, and that's agonizing for JW. Just narrowly missing out on a free kill. And now here comes the Molotovs, here comes the pressure, here comes the flashes. He has to be doing something, and he can't even, he loses his babysitter. No. He's burning alive. JW, the molly, what? Schneider's the last man standing. He didn't even realize he burnt to a crisp, but now Schneider up against 4, up against the wall, and up against it all. Godsent are starting to lose faith. And Virtus.Pro are going to be so damn close to returning to the ESL Pro League. 2 rounds is all they will need after this one. Schneider still clutching onto the AWP. Currently, there's 3 for VP, as they are having a fantastic time. It started on Cobble, and it could very well end here on Cash Mitch.
And Virtus.Pro went so low to the Molotovs thrown towards A main as well. There was so much of an opportunity there. Schneider at least going to be able to grab himself 1 kill before the death of things here as well. And this is a gun he's going to have to protect and take into the next rounds and make sure JW puts it to good use. They spent so much on this round, 2 players down to absolutely no money. They get 2 kills and not a lot else from this one here at all. Virtus.Pro just fat wads of cash peeking out their pockets, and Godsent with not a heck of a lot to work with here as well. Do they play for the overtime, save up and try and get a decent buy in the next round, or are they going to try and work around this AWP and make something happen? It's a scout picked up for Flusher.
Oh God, it's happening.
Sure. Wow.
It's okay, so this is it. This is the round. 1 round to do it all. Godsent have to win with what is essentially a shambolic buy. It's all around that AWP, playing around it. The rest is a FAMAS, a UMP. You've even got just a Deagle buy for Crims. They do have utility. And VP realized the weight of this round, the weight of the situation. A $750,000 league in 2 rounds of play.
Yeah, going to open the door up. First, literally, hopefully figuratively after that one, he misses the shot and the Molotov down. Going to force him out of position here as well. A flash and maybe a cheeky little peek in after the fact is not going to yield any information nor a kill. Flusher sees very little in mid as well, just trying to peek above that smoke, and Godsent now being kept on their toes. Virtus.Pro not quite going for the contact push here. Very much just trying to get information and get some peace. 3 AWPs here for Virtus.Pro. 3. So they have to play like this. They have to keep Godsent at arm's length. But those smokes are going to go soon. They've got to make a move. Godsent have got to get aggressive now as well. Neo somehow at point-blank range takes down Pronax to Flusher falls as well. It's all going wrong for Godsent. They came into this game bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Their shot at the ESL Pro League, it's slipping through their fingers.
This could very well be it. Schneider then is going to be desperately keeping hold of that AWP because they're going to have 1 last pass at it, but this is going to be 15 for Virtus.Pro. And then need I remind you that they just did it with 3 AWPs. The flash push from Squeaky did render absolutely nothing for Pronax. He made it far too clear what his intentions were, and a quick swing of Neo's crosshair did enable him to find that early pick, and the rest is history. Schneider going to be keeping hold of that AWP. I mean, 20 seconds left on the clock, but they're going to extend that with the bomb plant. And so he sits in checkers. And indeed, he most definitely is going to have to play a game of survival here. VP have got so much money, they'd be fools not to hunt him down.
And they may be looking for him at the moment. Sibiali is scouring the spawn area here as well for Schneider. And, well, he's going to stay alive for a while.
If you look at the minimap, you can see Bialy and Pasha are just slowly, look at this, they're closing in, process of elimination. Schneider's just holding both angles.
It's like they're buffing the floors at the same time as well, just moving almost geometrically here.
Clear, just slowly. Process, just checking every corner, and soon they will find him. Schneider's just trying to say his final goodbye to the AWP. They found him, it's gone, and the chances for Godsent just got even slimmer as they do not retain the sniper rifle. It's $3,000 at the very best, 3.3 for Crims, and it is death's door. Godsent could very well not be present within the Pro League. Virtus.Pro looking to throw the knockout blow.
And that's it. They've got the money as well. They're just going to invest into this one. Will they still use 3 AWPs? Probably very unlikely here. Godsent knew they had to get a bit aggressive because, I don't know if they realized Virtus.Pro had 3 orbs, but Virtus.Pro, when those smokes cleared, would have been able to pick Godsent apart with the utility they had to work with. So I like the aggression we actually saw from Pronax. Just sometimes no scopes happen, dude, and what can you do now? This aggression towards mid, though. Let's see if this can yield any results. Pronax gets on towards Snacks first. The smoke, and Pasha throws a bit of a HE through there as well. Not looking for any more at this stage.
Solid work from Pronax, then he knew he had to make a play, and that's the first time we've seen such a flurry of aggression from the CT side. He just pushes straight up through middle and deals with a overextension from Snacks. Snacks admittedly did just walk through the smoke, perhaps a little overconfident there.
It's not a terrible force here for Godsent as well. We didn't really mention that. Light on utility perhaps, but they've still got the guns to make the impact.
Well, I mean, it helps when you've lost 4 rounds back-to-back. They're on max lost round bonus at this point in time. And now, I mean, this situation, yes, it could be better, but it's actually not too shabby. Taz makes a difference, though. That's Flusher gone and mid-control gained. We know just how much Virtus.Pro want that. And soon the bodies will be joining him. He can't even retrieve the AK. Oh, it's a horrible situation, and Taz has exploded. 3 swift kills, and just 2 more remain. Crims and JW clutching onto the dreams of a Pro League spot. And now it will just be 1. It's all onto Crims. A FAMAS and 19 points of health. This is it.
That's it. His last chance here as well. Virtus.Pro looking to take things away, and Godsent hoped for so much more. They hope to bring this new roster into the spotlight and cap it all out with entry to the ESL Pro League. It's not to be. Virtus.Pro have spent their time down the bottom of the ladder. They've had their doubts. People definitely didn't think they deserved the spot. Following up the major performance with E-League and with this match here as well, they will cement their spot in this season.
Yeah, and in convincing fashion too. I mean, that's a scary roster to be going up against. You have 3 members from Fnatic. You have Pronax, ex-Fnatic. You have Schneider, ex-Fnatic. I mean, this is a stacked roster, and they dispatch of them in 2, a couple of blinks of their eye, and that is the best of 3 done and dusted. Virtus.Pro will join the rest of the teams in the ESL Pro League, and that will be, of course, the 4th season. Time has flown by with this Pro League. It really has. The 4th season will see Virtus.Pro once again, and this is how it looks. It's all updated. These are the 14 teams that will be competing for that juicy $750,000. It does all kick off very, very soon. In fact, Wednesday. You get a 1-day break before we do kick this thing off. And in fact, you get to see the winners. Virtus.Pro will be actually debuting in our first day of the Pro League. But look at these names. The likes of Astralis, Navi, Envy. Still shuffles to be seen, perhaps. NIP as well, a team that we're looking forward to seeing if they can mirror their success they found in Season 3, and so much more. What an adventure, though. A best of 3. We were hoping to see Train, Mitch. We was hoping to see a full best of 3. It proves that Godsent were incapable of getting us there.
Absolutely. And it is, I guess, with a hint of sadness that we realize that 3 of the best players in the world will not be featuring in this ESL Pro League. Unfortunately, now the new Fnatic coming in as well, with obviously bright hopes of their own. Godsent still have themselves that major spot. Of course, they are legends. That has been secured, but we won't be seeing them for the rest of this season. But I mean, Virtus.Pro, let's talk about that as well. Yeah. You know, Taz was adamant, saying sticking with this team of 5 and working on their mistakes and not just giving up, not just making the switch, and happy with the way things were. Coming off a great major performance, coming off a great E-League performance, and still some people weren't convinced. 75% fan vote to be in this game in general, and then the show up against, I guess, Godsent like this as well. Does make a big statement, does say the VP may well be back. Whether they'll be back to their old tricks or not remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure is we will be seeing it this right. And like you said, Wednesday, we've got 4 games coming up. 2 best of 2s. It's going to be FaZe versus Team X to kick things off here as well. Let's see what SK have been doing in the time off. And then it will be, well, a good one. It's going to be Virtus.Pro going up against NIP in a best of 2. 7 p.m. on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to have you here for this wildcard match, and we look forward to much more and a huge season ahead. We'll see you on Wednesday.